Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. So does everyone have their invitation?
Yes.
Yes? You know, today is a by invitation only event. And on the guest list is Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, Nelson Mandela, and of course, you. The question this morning is, how many of you will say yes? You know, yes is kind of a funny word. We throw it around all the time. We say yes when we mean no. We say yes when we, I'd rather not. We say yes when we're excited. We forget that literally yes means that we are agreeing to or making a commitment to something. When we say yes to the universe, when we say yes to God, we are making a commitment to live our purpose. We are making an agreement to be all that we have been meant to be. We're making a yes to step into our divinity, to live the life that we have inherited, that we're entitled to. The problem is that oftentimes when we're asked to step out, when we're asked to step into our greatness, there's another 3-letter word that follows. I bet you know it. Yes, but.
Oh.
Yes, but. I would be able to retire at this point if I had $1 for every time someone comes to me for spiritual advice and I say, well, you know, the principles say, da-da-da-da-da. Yes, but, Rev Glenda. Yes, but that doesn't apply to me. Yes, but I don't really have time to do that. Yes, but. Yes, but. If yes opens us up to divine flow, then yes, but constricts the flow. Today is all about getting your butt out of the way so that you can step into the divine flow. Oftentimes we are just like the guests who were invited to the Great Banquet. There's a parable in Luke called the parable of the Great Banquet. Now, Jesus was masterful at telling stories about everyday life that demonstrated for us our relationship to God, our relationship to our own creative life force, and our relationship to the kingdom of heaven. Now, heaven, good dogs go there, but so does everyone else. Right? Heaven is not this place out there somewhere in the clouds and the ethers, hanging out, waiting for us to bring our invitation and show up for. Heaven, as Jesus taught it, was a state of consciousness. It is the realization of who we really are. It's walking in a state of consciousness, knowing that we are the divine creators of our lives. And walking in the knowingness that when we ask, we receive. The only requirement is to say yes without the but. And so this is the parable of the Great Banquet as told by Reverend Glenda. So when you look up in the Bible, don't be shocked. All right? I'm going to clarify that right now. So there was a man who had achieved much success in his life. He was abundant and prosperous. He had everything his heart desired. And he was so filled with appreciation and gratitude that he decided that he wanted to share. And so he invited all of his friends and all of his family to come to this great gala. He ordered the finest cuisine. He had the greatest, most beautiful venue planned out. He even hired a party planner to take care of all the details. And then he got on his computer, and he got on his Facebook account, and he got on Gmail, and he sent out an invitation to everybody, saying, come celebrate my success with me. Come share in this wonderful bounty that I've laid out for you. So it's time for the great party, this big gala event. And the party planner and the host, they're standing by the door waiting to greet all the guests. And no one shows up. So the man, he's quite puzzled because all of his friends said, yes, of course they'd come. Yes, they'd love to come and enjoy his food and his prosperity. So he looks at the party planner and he says, I'm going to give you a bonus if you'll do this one thing for me. I want you to go out personally to all of this guest list. I want you to go to everyone on the guest list, and I want you to knock on their door, and I want you to tell them they can come as they are. Just drop everything. They can come right now. I've prepared this wonderful feast for them, and I just want them to be here. So she thinks this is kind of an odd request, but he does have a lot of money. So she goes and she knocks on the first door and she says, I've got this great banquet. He's laid out all this food for you. It's beautiful. We've done all this work. He says, just come as you are. Just drop everything and come. And the first guest says, well, I just bought a place at the lake. And, it's an investment. And I'm so busy during the week, and I just got this couple of hours off, and I really need to go check on my investment. I'm sure he'll understand. Yes, but I'm kind of busy. Not to be daunted, the party planner goes up to the next door, and she knocks, and the guest comes to the door and says, yes, I would love to go, but I just bought this new computer system. It's going to make work so much more efficiently, and I've got this great business plan laid out, and I'm going to follow the plan, and I'm going to make a lot of money, and I know he wouldn't want me to miss out on that. I really need to spend some time getting to know the system, and I'm sure my friend will understand. Party planner's starting to get a little exasperated, a little upset. Try one more time. She goes up to the next guest and gives them her spiel about this beautiful party that she's planned. And this one, she has a really good excuse. She says, yes, I'd love to come, but I just got married. And my husband, he's not really into all that. He's not really very social, and he doesn't really want to do all that. And I'm sure the host will understand that I just really can't come. So the party planner, head hung low, she's not been very successful, sure she's going to lose her bonus, goes back to the host and says, I asked all those people, and they said yes, but they all had things to do, and they said they couldn't come. Now you can imagine the host's frustration, his disappointment, maybe a little anger, definitely hurt. But he is not to be dissuaded. He looks at the party planner and he says, this is what we're going to do. I want you to go on Facebook. I want you to go on Meetup. I want you to make a poster, and we're going to invite everybody. I want you to go downtown, and I want you to carry this poster that says, free food here now. And we're going to fill this hall with everybody who's hungry. And I tell you this, not a single person on that guest list is going to enjoy this feast. Breathe into that a minute. Where in your life are you saying yes, but? Are you like the landowner who bought the house up at the lake? Have you filled your agenda so full that you don't have time for God? All the time, one of the yes buts I hear is, yes, but I don't have time to meditate. Yes, but I don't have the concentration to meditate. Yes, but I don't have time to pray. I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time. Each day is a gift. Each day, the universe blesses us with 24 hours. Linda, will you turn the air on? 24 hours. It's called a present for a reason. How do you use that gift? Do you use it feeding your passion? Do you use it feeding on divine ideas? Do you use it doing what your heart desires? Or are you a yes, but? Letting your time slip by, doing that which neither brings you joy or satisfaction. Maybe you're like the second guest. Maybe you have a plan. Maybe you've got it all lined out in your head. This is how your kids are going to grow up. This is where they're going to go to school. This is who they're going to marry. This is how it's all going to turn out. These are all the things I'm going to do to retire. And then when I get to retirement, I'm going to do this and this and this. You have a plan. Now, there's nothing wrong with planning. But sometimes our yes, but is that I have my plan. And it's about this narrow. And I forget that the divine has a plan that's this big. That sometimes the universe knows what I need before I ask and is ready to give it to me if I'm ready to receive. Sometimes we become so narrowly focused on the plan that we become self-reliant instead of God-reliant. I can do it myself. I remember my grandkids going through that phase, putting their jackets on inside out and their shoes on the wrong feet. And let me help you. I can do it myself. And we can. Sometimes it is not the easier, softer way. Right? The universe can outgive us every moment. God has a plan for you that is beyond your wildest imagination. But you have to get your but out of the way and be willing to receive it. Our last guest is married. And marriage is a wonderful thing. It too is a commitment that begins with a yes, I do. It also represents all of the times that we put our commitments before our own spiritual growth. That we allow someone else to squish our dream. That we allow someone else to be the priority in our life and we forget who we are. It's also, this character represents those attachments in our lives. We get really attached to our stuff. We get really attached to our way of thinking, our way of being. We become married to a certain image. And then our but cuts us off from what is waiting for us. It cuts us off from realizing our dreams, from stepping into our greatness, for saying yes fully to the universe. The Great Banquet for us, metaphysically, represents infinite possibilities. That there is before us, the universe has laid infinite possibilities for us to feast on. But like the guests at the banquet, oftentimes we say, yes, but. Yes, but. And we cut ourselves off from the flow of the infinite. And so what's the antidote? The antidote is to say yes. So yes begins with yielding. Now I love words. It's probably one of the reasons I'm a minister. I love words, and I love to look at the origins of words and what they mean and how we use them. And yield is one of these interesting words that has two meanings that seem in direct opposition of each other. So yield means to relinquish or to surrender. Yield also means to bring forth and to receive. To bring forth. And so when you think about the great creative leaders of our time, Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, Nelson Mandela, the one thing they all have in common is they have learned to yield to spirit. Thomas Edison had a certain chair. Jane and I got to see one of his chairs when we were in Florida a couple of years ago. And he would sit in his favorite chair, and he would put a rock in his hand. And he would settle into deep meditation. And just before he would fall asleep, his hand would relax, and the rock would drop. And that would wake him up. And he reported that when he was awakened, that suddenly he had clarity. He felt inspired, and he was motivated to do something. Albert Einstein. Several journals are reported Albert Einstein was a nap taker. But see, he didn't take naps like us. What he would do is he would recline on the couch and he would go into a deep state of meditation. He would connect to Source. And he would wake up from that with the solution to the problem. He knew that if he connected, he could work it out. When we yield to spirit, we lean in to what the universe has in store for us. We open ourselves up to divine guidance. We relinquish our plan. We relinquish the way we think things should be. We relinquish our thoughts that are limiting us. And what we yield is an abundance of divine ideas. Divine ideals that can prosper us in every area of our life. Yield. The second way to get our butt out of the way is to expect the best. So a couple of Sundays ago, I talked about fire walking and all the preparation that went into that. And before I walked, I had to know that it was possible. You see, up until that point, it was impossible. I had to know that it was possible for me to do it before it became true. And my instructor, Edwin Gaines, said to us, "You will receive tonight exactly what you expect from the walk, just as in life." You see, there's this universal law of attraction and a flow of mind working in the universe. And so if you expect that the shoe is about to drop, if you expect that things aren't going to work out, if you expect the worst, guess what? You're right. The universe will certainly deliver. However, if you expect that what you're visioning is on its way to you, if you expect that the universe only has the best intentions for you, if you expect that things are going to work themselves out in some kind of divine order, guess what? You'll receive that too. Jane and I had a good laugh yesterday when we were out at Big Bower Lake. The water was really, really deep, and there was a lot of debris in it, and we're in the kayak, and I'm thinking, I sure wish we had 2 life jackets instead of 1. And then I thought, okay, we're going to get a life jacket. We need another life jacket. I'm going to make sure we get another life jacket as soon as we get off this kayak. We turn the corner, and Jane says, what is that floating in the water over there? She said, it looks like a piece of styrofoam or something, and I paddle over. It was a brand new life jacket. Dry, brand new life jacket, hanging on a branch. I said, wow, ask and you shall receive, right?
Was there a body in it?
No. No body in it. No body in it. The story I'm telling myself is it flew off the back of somebody else's kayak and got hung up in the branches. Another thing happened on the way home. We ran out of gas. Now, I was supposed to be at the church at 6 o'clock for the healing circle, and it's 5, and I'm out of gas. And we called someone. I'm going to call my friend Glenda. She's right down the road. Hopefully she can bring us some gas. And I just took a deep breath. I really could have gone into, oh my God, this is horrible. People are going to be standing outside of the church door is going to be locked. This is disastrous. Blah, 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 blah. And instead I just took a breath and went, okay, this is all going to work out. It's going to be just fine. I'm going to call a friend. I'm going to call a couple of friends for help. I'm going to use my lifeline. So I called someone to bring me gas. I called Kat and said, can you go to the church and open it up and just get things started? I arrived about 15, 20 minutes late, and it was in perfect order. Exactly what needed to happen in that circle had happened. People had connected. They had shared their stories. It turned out better than I could have imagined. Expect the best. The last thing that we can do to get rid of the buts in our life is to practice self-mastery. Self-mastery is an expression of our divine power. And Linda Martello-Whitsitt describes it as taking authority over our thoughts. Taking authority over our thoughts, over our behavior, and aligning them with the infinite truth instead of reacting from our human nature. You see, it's not enough to just say, yeah, okay, sure, yes. It's not enough to just lean into spirit and say, yes, I'm listening. It's not enough to just expect the best if you don't put your feet to the pavement. You have to be willing to take steps. Where would we be if Thomas Edison hadn't taken action on his idea for the light bulb? Right? Where would we be if Albert Einstein had worked out the problem in his head and then left it there? Oh, okay. So now I understand how the relativity works. Right? You have to be willing to practice self-mastery. If you want to be prosperous, start acting prosperous. If you want to be joyful, start being joyful. If you want to start having more peace in your life, then start acting like a peaceful person acts. One of the most helpful things to me in recovery, because I was a hot mess those first couple of years, my sponsor would say, act as if. Well, what does that mean? Act as if you're a happy, normal person not drinking. Okay. So, so I acted as if I was normal. I started getting up and going to work on time. Because I heard that's what normal people do. I started coming home after work and picking my children up from the babysitter on time because somebody told me that's what normal people do. And I acted as if. And the miracle happened that over time, it was no longer an act. The same is true for us. Self-mastery is about acting as if. Acting as if what you have asked for, you have already received. Now, already, someone's mind is going, yes, but. Yes, but Glenda, you don't have my problems. Yes, but you don't live with my husband. Yes, but. Today, you can leave here and continue to live in the land of but. And I promise that you'll keep getting what you've got. But if you are ready for something different, if you are ready to step in to a life of infinite possibilities, then yield to the Spirit inside you. Expect the best. And be willing to take action and to behave like someone who has self-mastery. Whatever you decide, I promise you this, the universe will always say yes. What will you say? Namaste.
Namaste.